Festival which attracts over 100,000 visitors. This morning we have a concentration on primary school kids who are getting the opportunity to visit the Celtic Explorer and all of the other naval exhibits and all of the beautiful storytelling opportunities. But today it's a really special, great honour for me to officially launch the Eurofleets Plus project, a project that has a great heritage and lineage of great success in Europe, to be funded almost to the tune of 10 million on the third generation of such a project really is a great testament to the professionalism, the dedication and the quality of all of those who have been involved in 2 generations, and to the new and expanded partnerships of over 40 institutions who, together with the Marine Institute, hope to build on generations of success and leave a legacy for future generations that we can all be very proud of through to 2023. I want to pay particular welcome to our international colleagues who are with us. You will, I hope, enjoy a great experience here in Ireland. They say if you cannot enjoy Ireland, it's not Ireland's fault. We are renowned for our welcome, and I'm sure you all will. But to reflect a little on the significance on what Eurofleets is seeking to achieve and has achieved, we are a grouping now, I think, of approximately 27 research vessels which are accessible to all comers on a competitive basis. They will house and carry some of the most modern and sophisticated technology existing now and into the futures. They will create opportunities to operate in all of Europe's oceans and seas and beyond into the Pacific and the Ross Sea. But most significantly, when you think about what is involved with the challenges to the oceans and climate change, we can have all the technology in the world that can measure and have a sense of something, but if there aren't humans involved, there isn't the passion, there isn't the understanding, and there isn't the will to make change in societies. This is where ships are more important than anything else, because it is the ships that carry the humans that translate back to land and to the body politic and to policymakers and to the public at large and to the 100,000 visitors we hope to enjoy with us this weekend in Cork. This is why the centrality of research vessels as the platforms to carry both the human endeavour and the technological instrumentation of today and the future to deploy and service all of this remote technology as it is created and put at the service of mankind. Ships are central to that, and central to any ship are its captain and crew. And to Dennis and the crew of the Celtic Explorer, you are our greatest ambassadors, both at engagements like SeaFest, but also increasingly and consistently for over 2 decades. We have enjoyed tremendous feedback from all who have sailed and surveyed with you on both the Celtic Voyager and the Celtic Explorer, who have benefited from access to the ROV Holland. And now, with an extended family, you are part of a truly trans-European and international family of research vessel crew and operators. Without you, the scientists can't do their work. Without you, the public won't get this access. And without you, all of the safety for the equipment and the people who are brought on board are ensured. And again, I want to acknowledge and thank you and all your peers and your colleagues in the Eurofleets Plus community. To the scientific teams and those who will come after me, all I can say is I wish you great success. Your endeavours are incredibly important. The Marine Institute is deeply honoured and privileged to have the role of coordinator, and I wish to acknowledge Aidan and the entire team and your peers and partners internationally, and to wish you fair sailing and great success. Eurofleets Plus is officially launched. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. And our next speaker is Aidan Fitzgerald, who's the project coordinator for Eurofleets Plus, and he'll bring you through an overview of the project.
Thanks, Niamh, and thanks everybody for coming. It's great to have a lot of our international partners, the ship's crew and scientists who've used the vessel over the years. And just going to give you a quick run through on the project. So as you can see, it's a €9.9 million budget we have for this project with 42 partners. We have 27 research vessels involved. with 5 AUVs and 1 mobile telepresence unit, as well as 7 ROVs. Just trying to get the feedback away. So it's been coordinated by the Marine Institute. It's a 48-month project running to January or February 2023. You can see the range of partners and vessels that are involved, all the way from New Zealand to Bermuda, USA and Canada, Greenland, Iceland, and all over Europe, Northern Europe and the Mediterranean. So just an image of all the 42 partners from research institutes, universities, commercial partners who are involved in the joint research activities. And this time around, the difference over the previous Eurofleets 1 and Eurofleets 2 is we've expanded the access even more this time. So we've for the first time, the Horizon 2020 allowed non-European partners to take part. So we're delighted actually to welcome New Zealand and Bermuda and some USA partners into the project, which would expand access right down into the Ross Sea south of New Zealand and into the Antarctic. So the key activity areas are joint research activities, as well as transnational access. The transnational access is to 27 research vessels, and that should open up the North Atlantic, the Mediterranean, the Black, the North and Baltic Seas, the Pacific Southern Ocean and the Ross Sea. And the priority will be given to research on sustainable, clean and healthy oceans, and also linking with existing ocean observation infrastructure. We're going to work closely with industry to support innovation. And there's a very large element of training and education, which Andrea from OGS is going to talk to us about in a minute. Annelie from the Alfred Wegener Institute will talk a bit more about the transnational access. But there's going to be 3 calls. One is called the C call, which is the Ship Time and Marine Equipment application. That's going to open later this month. Then there's a co-PI program, which is aimed at young researchers, and that's going to open in November 2019, and that's a running call. And then for the first time we have a new program which is to increase the efficiency of the vessels, and that's remote transnational access, where scientists can actually ask a vessel to do a task whenever it's in an area without actually being on board. So that's an innovative idea for this time round. And that call is open in November, and it's a continuous call that's open all the time. So you can see the timeline here. 3 access programs opening in 2019 and running all the way through to 2022. So 3 years of activity. Slide is probably difficult to see here, but we've for the first time we've focused on the quality of the research vessels we have. So their capabilities in terms of ability to host ROVs, silent vessels for fisheries research, the ability to do full ocean depth and clean CTDs, and a lot of special features. So there is a matrix here. The sun is too strong, but the joint research activity element then that we're working on, I mentioned we have a lot of industrial partners in this. One of the key areas that we're going to develop new interoperable tools and technologies for deep water operations. So we've got partners such as McCartney, Seonix and Hampajan from Iceland involved in that. So we're looking at developing a portable winch that can be moved across vessels throughout Europe, and using the latest Dyneema or Aramid type ropes for this. So, and also then Seonix are working on a different type of launch and recovery system that works in a moon pool and over the side. So we're delighted to have those 3 well-known companies on board. We're doing some work on AUVs and ASV, including navigation from between autonomous surface vessels and underwater vessels, and that's Aqua Robotics and Coronis from Spain who are working on that. And then we're delighted to have the Voyager IP from Wicklow, an Irish company, and they're working with the Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration to optimize solutions for telepresence and real-time data presence from the vessels, so allowing e-access to data and to allow live ability to access vessels live from shore. We're also doing further work on the suite of shipboard software and services for data with our partners in CSIC in Spain and RBINS in Belgium. So the impacts, we're hoping we're going to have wider, simplified and more efficient access to the best research vessels irrespective of location, access to new and more advanced research infrastructures to enable leading edge research. We're going to foster innovation through reinforced partnerships between research industries, institutes and industry. We're going to develop synergies and complementary capabilities across related infrastructures. And then a big key area is to educate the next generation of researchers so they can use all this modern and high-tech equipment that we're bringing on board. So that's it. So thanks to Peter for officially launching the project. We're looking forward to working with everybody over the next 4 years. I'm going to hand over now to Annalie from the Alfred Wegener Institute, who's going to officially highlight the calls which are opening at the end of the month. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks Aidan. Thanks for this nice launching. My name is Annelies Strobel. I'm running the Eurofleets Plus Call Management and Evaluations office at the Alfred Wegener Institute in Bremerhaven, Germany. And I would like to introduce you to the Eurofleets Plus access programs with focus on the Ship Time and Marine Equipment Application program, the SEA program that will be launched later this month. Okay, so let me start with the funding that can be provided by Eurofleets Plus. Grantees of Eurofleets Plus can profit from full access to ship time on the research vessels and the associated equipment up to a certain limit of days. This includes the use of the vessels, the use of the crew, fuel, and all other standard operating costs. Furthermore, travel expenses, the use of the embarked equipment team, and the transport of the research equipment will all fully be funded. Furthermore, what is new to Eurofleets Plus compared to previous Eurofleets programs will be that access to non-European research vessels will now be fully funded by the European Commission. And also for the first time in Eurofleets, access will be open to an international community so that also non-European applicants can be funded and lead cruises. These are the access programs that we offer in Eurofleets Plus. Aidan briefly introduced them already. First we have the Ship Time and Marine Equipment Application, the SEA program, which provides access to the vessels and or marine equipment through a classical call of proposals, and we will launch a minimum of 2 calls, one with the bigger ocean-going vessels and one with the more regional sea-going vessels. Then we have the second program, the co-PI program, which is specifically aimed at early career researchers who have no experience as a PI of a research cruise, so that they can implement a short research project on an already funded Eurofleets Plus cruise, and they will be provided 2 or 3 days of access in that program. And this will be a running call. I will be explaining later what it is. And lastly, we have the Remote Transnational Access program, which is aimed for researchers who, for example, have a data set ready and just need one sediment core to be taken or 1 day of bathymetric measurements to complete their data set. So then they can access the vessel remotely without being on board, and they will be provided 1 day of access to the vessel, also in a running call. As I said, the SEA program is this classical call, so we will open the call, that will be staying open for a period of 3 months, then be closing, and then we will evaluate all the proposals for another 3 months, and then within 1 month we will have a funding decision which proposals can be implemented. In contrast, the co-PI program and the RTA will be both running calls, which is new to Eurofleets. So we will open the calls later this year, and then they will be running for a period of at least 2.5 years. And so applicants can continuously submit the proposals, and then every 6 months or earlier, if we receive plenty of applications, we will evaluate them and decide which ones can get funded. The first call that we are going to open is the Oceans Call, where we will offer the bigger ocean-going vessels since they need a longer planning phase in their cruise schedules. This call will open at the 26th of June and stay open until 27th of September this year. And the second call of the sea program will be the regional call with the more regional sea-going vessels. That is estimated to be opened in November this year and be closed in February 2020. And the COPI and RTA programs will be launched in November this year as well. These are the vessels that we are going to offer in the first Oceans Call. We will be providing 5 to 17 days of ship time on each of these 14 ocean-going vessels. We will have 2 Arctic ones in the Arctic Ocean, several ones in the North Atlantic, 3 in the Mediterranean and the Adriatic region, 2 in the West Atlantic, and 1 down in New Zealand waters. We will also provide access to marine equipment, 8 to 20 days on each of these marine equipment. We will have 6 ROVs in the first call, 2 AUVs and a telepresence unit, and then in the second call later this year we will provide access to 3 AUVs and 1 ROV, and all of these will provide a nice coverage of all Eurofleets regions from the Arctic down to the Pacific. And in the second sea call, the regional one, we will have more vessels in the North Sea area, the Baltic Sea, 2 in the Atlantic, plenty in the Mediterranean, also 1 in the Black Sea and 1 in the Red Sea. When people want to apply for one of these marine infrastructures, it's crucial that they fulfill the eligibility criteria, which is that the PI and the majority of users of the proposal must work in another country than where the infrastructure is based. So, for example, an Irish PI cannot apply for the Celtic Explorer. And second, what is also new to Eurofleets Plus is that the PI of the proposal and the designated chief scientist should be affiliated to the same institution. And third, also new to Eurofleets Plus is that even though we are funding now international applicants, we can only provide 20% of the days that we offer in Eurofleets Plus to user groups that are not based in the EU or associated country. And the international cooperation aspect is also strengthened in Eurofleets Plus now. Proposals must involve at least 3 different partners from 3 different countries now. When you apply, of course, the cruise length should not exceed the number of days that are offered. However, additional days can be chartered if there's money. New to Eurofleets Plus now is that also a data management plan must be submitted together with the proposal, and there has been a template designed especially for Eurofleets Plus. Next, the proposals must also include an advanced training program, and the users should also be willing and entitled to disseminate their knowledge. And of course, the PI and the crew should have an appropriate expertise to conduct their research. For the application process to the C program, we designed a new proposal submission website, which is based on previous Eurofleets programs, which is looking like that. First, the applicants have to register at this platform, and then in the second step, they have to provide all the information about the proposal, such as the general information, logistics information, so on, and then upload all the scientific description, data management plan, and CV. And in the last step, they will get a confirmation of their successful submission. And the evaluation system to evaluate then all these proposals is also based on previous Eurofleets programs. So when the proposals have been submitted, we will check them for the eligibility criteria at the evaluation office, and then they will go to scientific evaluation overseen by the scientific liaison panel, and will be sent to external reviewers, and then if they are ranked as scientifically excellent, they will be passed on to the operational liaison panel, and then we will have a decision on the funding possibilities. And with that, I would like to thank you very much for your attention, and please spread the news about our first sea call that will be launched soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Annalie. And I'd now like to call our final speaker, Andrea, who's going to bring you through the training and education programs that we'll have with Eurofleets Plus.
Hello, thank you everybody, thank you everyone, thank you the Marine Institute for this invitation, for this launching of the project. I'm Andrea Capurlotto, I'm from OGS, that is in Italy, and I will coordinate the training activities. Training is an important activity. We already started in previous Eurofleets project, and because we know we have great ships, great instrumentation, new technologies, but we need to create and to generate the next generation of scientists. So I will just give you a short information about the courses that we are planned for this year and beginning of 2020. So we have 2 Blue Skill Labs planned this year that are a kind of training workshop to enable young scientists and early career technicians to fully utilize the instrumentation and the new technologies that are available on board the European vessels. The first one is the Blue Skill Labs about the AUV, is autonomous underwater vehicles, that will be held at the University of Göteborg this summer in August, from 18th to 23rd of August. And the call will be open soon, maybe next week, and there will be some classroom workshop and classroom lectures about how to utilize, how to planning a survey with autonomous underwater vehicles, and as well there will be a one day boat trip to make some practice and exercise about that. The second Blue Skill Labs will be held in Germany at the University of Bremen and Marum, and will focus on the remote operating vehicles, ROV. So it's open to early career technicians. This is more devoted to technical aspects on how to manage the ROV, and will be done in November 2019, and the call will be open in July, August of this summer. And the third activity planned for this year, that actually will be done in early 2020, is the first floating university. Floating universities are a kind of combined practical and theoretical workshops, lectures on multidisciplinary topics. They will be based, we'll have a kind of days after and post the cruise, where the students will be given some theoretical lectures and workshops in the classroom, and then they will follow a kind of days on board for the practical survey. And the first one, the first floating university, is planned in February 2020, with the call that will be open in the September of this year, 2019. All these training activities are open to early career scientists and technicians from Europe and also out of Europe, but just enrolled in European institutes or university. And so that's all for this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrea. So I hope you got a flavour of what the programme is going to be like. So our new website is live at the moment, and the calls are going to be going up there, opening on the 26th of June. So to all those online and all out in the science community, we look forward to receiving your application. So thanks for everybody. The rain has just arrived here, so we're just going to finish now at that, and thank you very much.